The political landscape of the United States is currently embroiled in intense discussions and debates, as President Donald Trump's ambitious legislative agenda faces significant hurdles. The recent failure of the so-called Big Beautiful Bill to pass the House Budget Committee has unveiled the complexities and challenges within the GOP's own ranks. However, there's an underlying thread of optimism that suggests a pathway to constructive change and collaboration. The bill, a culmination of efforts from 11 different House committees, was designed to advance Trump's priorities on various fronts, including border security, immigration, taxation, energy, and defense. Despite its broad scope and the support from many Republicans, the legislation hit a roadblock when Republican reps Chip Roy of Texas, Josh Brecheen of Oklahoma, Andrew Clyde of Georgia, and Ralph Norman of South Carolina voted against it. Reptors Lloyd Smucker of Pennsylvania also switched his vote from yes to no, albeit as a procedural move to potentially bring the legislation back for reconsideration. The dissonance within the GOP highlights a moment of reflection and potential redirection. House Budget Committee Chairman Jody Arrington, R. Texas, has scheduled another meeting to revisit the bill, indicating a willingness to engage in dialogue and address the concerns raised by the dissenting members. This openness to discussion is a positive step toward finding common ground. The fiscal hawk's primary contentions with the bill revolve around the timeline for implementing Medicaid reforms and the phasing out of green energy subsidies from former President Joe Biden's Inflation Reduction Act. Their insistence on immediate action rather than delayed implementation reflects a broader desire for accountability and tangible results. Only in Washington are we expected to bet on the come, that in 5 years then everything will work, Roy articulated during the debate. This sentiment underscores a push for practical solutions and timely reforms. The optimism in this scenario lies in the process of negotiation itself. While the initial outcome wasn't favorable for Trump's bill, the ongoing discussions and willingness to reconvene suggest that solutions are within reach. The determination of House Republicans to pass the agenda via budget reconciliation, a process that circumvents the minority party and lowers the Senate's passage threshold to 51 votes, illustrates a strategic approach towards legislative success. Moreover, House Majority Leader Steve Scalise's proactive engagement with the dissenting members points to a collaborative spirit. His commitment to addressing concerns and working through unresolved issues before advancing the bill further is a testament to the constructive efforts being made behind the scenes. Despite President Trump's attempts to rally support via social media, labeling opponents as grandstanders, the focus remains on unifying the party to achieve legislative goals. The optimistic takeaway here is that internal debates and differing viewpoints can ultimately lead to more refined and effective policies. Speaker Mike Johnson, ERLA, has expressed a goal to have the legislation passed by Memorial Day, with the hope of aligning with the Senate to deliver a completed bill to President Trump's desk by the 4th of July. This timeline, while ambitious, remains feasible if the parties involved can strike a balance between differing priorities and come to a consensus. As the House Freedom Caucus and other key players continue their work through the weekend, the potential for a breakthrough remains high. The ongoing negotiations and the commitment to address concerns provide a glimmer of hope for a resolution that benefits all parties involved. In these times of political complexity, it's essential to appreciate the efforts made towards dialogue and compromise. It's a reminder that progress often requires patience, open-mindedness, and a willingness to listen and adapt. If you find these insights valuable and want to stay updated with the latest developments, consider subscribing to our channel for more in-depth analysis and news. Your engagement through likes and comments would also greatly support our mission to provide quality content. How do you view the current legislative efforts and the challenges faced by President Trump's administration? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We would love to hear your perspective on the potential paths forward and any constructive ideas you might have for fostering bipartisanship in these discussions.